7:09 p.m. and ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez,
Present.
Trustee Blair,
Present.
Trustee Kagan,
Present.
Trustee Annalise,
Present.
Trustee Krusek,
Present.
Trustee Page,
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
Quorum established.
Thank you very much to our clerk. Going to go ahead and start with a moment of silence and then go to the Pledge of Allegiance, which I'm going to ask our audience here this evening if you would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So just take a moment of silence with us before we start. Thank you. We'll go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We do have several special recognition items this evening, and two are proclamations, which we will start with. I asked our administrator to please read the first proclamation, and then I'll read the second proclamation. We have two members of our Human Relations Advisory Committee here with us this evening. We would like to present those proclamations to you, if you don't mind. That way you can take them back to the club. Okay, so thank you very much. Administrator Stonich.
Good evening, Mayor. Whereas this year marks the 38th year the United States has recognized and celebrated March as National Disability Awareness Month, and whereas on February 26, 1987, President Ronald Reagan officially declared March as National Disabilities Awareness Month. The declaration called for people to provide understanding, encouragement, and opportunities to help persons with disabilities to lead productive and fulfilling lives. And whereas disability transcends issues of race, ethnicity, age, gender, and economic status, all are eligible. And whereas the purpose of National Disabilities Awareness Month is the enlightenment of all Americans to the abilities of the individual and the inclusion of the needs of all its citizens in issues of equity, accessibility, education, and employment. And whereas contributions made to society, civilization, and the whole of human experience by individuals with disabilities should be acknowledged and celebrated for the benefit and the betterment of all. Now, therefore, Gina Cunningham, Mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as National Disabilities Awareness Month in the Village of Woodridge and encourage all to take extra steps to raise awareness about the supports and rights of the people with disabilities and to celebrate their contributions to our communities and society as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the second proclamation is Women's History Month for the month of March as well. Whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of our nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor workforce inside and outside of our homes. Whereas women have played a unique role throughout history of the nation by providing the majority of volunteer labor force in our nation and beyond. Whereas women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable philanthropic cultural institutions throughout our nation. Women of every race, class, ethnic background have served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement, and women have served our country courageously in the military. They, women, have been leaders not only in securing their own right of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also the abolitionist movement and the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, and the civil rights movement, and other significant movements, especially the peace movement, which creates a more fair and just society for all. Whereas this year's theme, Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. The theme recognizes the outstanding contributions of women to education, mentorship, and leadership. Now, therefore, I, Gina Cunningham, Mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, in recognition of Women History Month, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as Women History Month. And I encourage all of our neighbors to honor and celebrate the significance of women's contributions in America, history, and today. And it is my honor to bring these two proclamations to both Joe and Mary.
In the picture. Okay. Ready?
Thank you both. And please give our best to the HRAC. Next, I'll invite Eric Alwyn up, please. Eric, good evening. I think we're inviting up our new code enforcement inspector and consultant. Good evening and welcome. Absolutely.
Mayor and board, wanted to introduce to you Lakeside Consulting and Danny Vargas. They were recently hired to perform code enforcement and oversee the village's multifamily rental program. They through the selection process that we were doing, Lakeside rose to the top with just bringing a vast knowledge and years of experience in code enforcement and rental inspections. Danny has been with us for the last several months, learning the village code as well as learning policies and going through and just doing a phenomenal job so far as he's going through and starting off with the village. And as we transition off of our former code enforcement consultant to Danny, he's been doing a great job. Just kind of want to give a little background on Lakeside. Lakeside Consultants was founded in 2019 by Rick Dandan. Rick became a successful building department consultant in suburban Illinois, and that's when he decided he was going to start Lakeside Consultants. Their goal is to provide small batch building code related services. They limit the number of clients, ensuring that they can provide flexible, modern, efficient, and responsive community-based solutions. Lakeside was built supplemental to work hand in hand with our staff, building departments and other consultants to provide most effective building department solutions available. Mayor, this is just a little bit about Danny Vargas and the Lakeside Consultants.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. And we welcome you and we look forward to the good works continuing. On behalf of the village board, myself and the village of Woodridge and our neighbors, we thank you very much. I know this is a big job, but I think from everything I've read and everything Eric has shared, you'll do an outstanding job in representing the village and doing great works here. So we appreciate it very much. Anything you would like to say, Danny?
Just happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. So far, the staff have been more than welcoming, very accommodating. I'm excited to be here. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And we are too. So thank you so much and welcome. And Eric, all right, don't go too far. Right. So now we do have Eric, and we have our introduction of our employee of the quarter. And here she is. Hello, Lisa. And so we do have before us, and Eric, maybe you could go ahead and tell us a little bit about the accomplishments and this wonderful recognition.
Absolutely, Mayor. I want to just introduce our employee of the first quarter of 2025, Lisa Shemrowski. Lisa was nominated by a coworker, Shania Williams. Shania listed out several of Lisa's great attributes in her nomination. I'm just going to spotlight a few of them that were listed out. She's dedicated to the village residents and provides excellent customer service. Lisa is reliable, consistently arriving early, preparing to start the day. She maintains a positive demeanor of both staff and customers alike, even when managing heavy workload. Lisa goes out of her way to build rapport with everyone, fostering sense of inclusivity with all, from mail carriers to coworkers and all who enter the village door. She's very inviting and just warm and to everyone who comes in. She works closely with community development staff to stay updated on permit changes. And Lisa has a great sense of humor. She knows how to laugh at herself and bring levity to the workplace. This is just a glimpse of why Shania believes Lisa should be honored as Employee of the Quarter. It's the small, consistent actions and positive interaction that we have with the people we spend the most time with that turn the job into something more rewarding, which is just such a great recognition by her peers. I would also add that Lisa is definitely a team player. She helps out. She does a great job of keeping me and the department informed on relevant items. She's joined this evening by her husband, Jimmy. Mayor and Board, this is just a little bit about Lisa and why she's deserving of this recognition.
Wonderful, and thank you. And Lisa is one of the first people you see as soon as you come in the front door. So always greet everyone, just outstanding. And you can, that warm feeling. So thank you very much. It is my pleasure to bring before the Village Board Resolution 2025-22, which is the resolution of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees for the Village of Woodridge, commending you, Lisa, on being named the first recipient of the Quarterly Employee of the Year. So first quarter, congratulations to you from all of us. Now I'm going to ask all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. It is unanimous. Congratulations to you and our deep appreciation for all your outstanding work. So thank you very much. You're doing a great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So the village has an employee recognition program, and each quarter an employee receives recognition and can receive by his or her colleagues or anyone throughout the village and their peers. Lisa has been selected of the Employee of the Quarter for this first quarter of 2025, as we said, and just an outstanding selection. And now we do have, going to ask Director Bethel to come. We have a new colleague that has joined us. This is Lisa as well. Welcome. Hi, how are you?
So we've got two Lisa S's. This is Lisa Sills Stramaglia. She's working in the Public Works Department as one of our office associates. We had a part-time office associate. She needed to kind of reduce her hours. And so we had gotten to the point where myself and even maintenance workers were covering the front desk. So we needed to find somebody who could fit kind of a specific date and time. But at the same time, can we call you at any time where we're going to need you last minute to come in order to assist us? So we had some great applicants for the position, over 100 of them. It's really a unique position based on the skill sets you need in terms of working with residents, working with the operations staff, entering in work orders, doing accounts payable, and a ton of other administrative support. So we had 3 rounds of interviews. We met a lot of people, but we really think Lisa was the top of that list. She came to us with really a wealth of diverse knowledge and experience, and she's worked as an office administrator, assistant sales manager, customer service manager, human resources, payroll coordinator, elementary education instructor, and actually a real estate representative. So really just a ton of wealth that she's brought to the department. She's been doing a great job. And really from day one, we've been changing up her schedule. She's flexible. We can call her and she's here in a matter of minutes. And that's because she lives in town. She's about a block away from us and has really been a great addition to the department.
Wonderful. Well, welcome and thank you so much. I know you jumped right in from everything I've heard. Just our congratulations to you and welcome to the team here at Woodridge. On behalf of all of us, we thank you very much for joining the team and doing outstanding works right off the bat. So we welcome you and say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. And Director Bethel, the Santee. Good evening and welcome.
So this is Santiago Silva Perez. He goes by Santi. He started with us a couple weeks ago. We had Anthony Pizziati, who you met, who'd been promoted into the foreman position, and so we were looking to hire another mechanic. So Santi has a degree in automotive and diesel technology, and actually graduated from the Peterbilt Technician Institute. We were shocked because they had him working a second shift, and if he wanted a regular shift, he could go to Janesville or another remote location in Indiana. And so their loss has really been our gain. So in almost 29 years of hiring, and I told Santi this, we've never done this before. He finished his first interview, left, and we said he was good. We need to call him back. So within about 10 minutes after his interview, we had called him and said, we want you to come back for a second. He finished his second round interview, and we said, that doesn't normally happen where you get called right away. Don't think you're not doing well. We're doing some deliberations. He left. About 10 minutes later, we had called him and said, hey, are you willing to come back for a third interview? And there were a couple of things he did in the interview that really set himself apart. One, again, in about 29 years of interviewing, he sent the most genuine, detailed thank you to the human resources manager, Heather Hudson, and I, that really talked about his interest in the position. And the second is, we asked him, well, why do you want to work for the village? And most people, if they live close, they say short commute, which terrible answer. I hate that answer. What Santi said, though, is I live in town. I grew up here. I'm a product of the schools, and I'd really like to be a part of helping serve and improve my community. So that was a 10 out of 10 answer. And it was not just what he said, but it's how he said it that you knew he was really genuine. So again, Santi does live here in town. He's done a great job getting started right away, and we're excited to have him in the garage.
Yes, well, welcome, first of all, and congratulations. It's a great story. I love that you went above and beyond. And as someone who also grew up here, I really feel, that is just the best answer. So thank you so much. And another person that kind of stepped right in, got working right away, and part of the team here at the Village of Woodridge, and we're very proud. On behalf of all of us, we thank you so much. We wish you the very best. So for you, and Lisa, welcome. And Lisa, earlier Lisa, congratulations to all of you. It's just really wonderful to have you on our team and working hard and being so dedicated, as well as being neighbors. So we welcome and thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And Chief.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, hi, welcome.
You stand there? Yes, sir. Why don't you come around here? So you're in a block. Okay, excellent. Mayor, Board of Trustees, it gives me great pleasure tonight to introduce to you our newest records assistant, Marissa Hanson. Marissa Hanson grew up in the south suburbs, attended Stagg High School, and then she continued her education at Elmhurst University, graduating in 2023 with a bachelor's in criminal justice with a minor in computer science. One of the impressive things about Marissa is pretty large applicant pool for this position. And with her being very new into her work career, she really stood out amongst some very seasoned candidates and was the successful applicant. And we were lucky to hire her. She started with the department in early January. She's described as friendly, very quick learner, and quite diligent in her duties. And a recent example of that was last Friday was the first day she was going to be the only assistant in the room. And I got in about 7:45. I see the light was on. She was preparing for the day. So that window would be open right at 8 o'clock and she'd be ready to go. So the only thing that I think she and I may disagree on is next football season, but hopefully by then she'll see the light. Right? Marissa Hanson, thank you.
Well, thank you. It's so nice to meet you, Marissa. Thank you so much for joining and being part of our team. And again, like that, above and beyond, right off the bat, thank you so much. It means so much to all of us, not just to the department, but to every colleague here at the village, to our neighbors throughout. And on behalf of the village board and myself, we welcome you. And we look for many, many years of being on the same team here at the Village of Woodridge and to helping take care of our community. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll move to comments from the public, please. We'll pause to acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to our meeting that do not relate to tonight's agenda. And if so, we will enter those into our public record. Administrator Stonich?
Mayor, we've not received any written comments in advance.
Okay, thank you very much. Going to now open it up to the members of the public that are here. If you would like to comment on any items that are either not related to anything on our agenda tonight, we would invite you up to the podium if you would like to address the village board, please. Okay, seeing no one, we will now go ahead to comments that are related to our agenda this evening. We'll pause to acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to our meeting that do appear on our agenda this evening, and if so, we will enter those into the public record.
Thank you, Mayor. No comments have been received.
Okay, thank you so much. So again, we're going to ask our audience members here if anyone would like to address the village board with any comment on an item that does appear on this evening's agenda, and if so, we would invite you to the podium. Okay, we do not see anyone. I do want to recognize we do have a scout here this evening with us. Would you mind sharing with us what troop you're with here in Woodridge? And we welcome you. 510? Okay, wonderful. And are you here for a badge? Are you working towards something? Which badge are you going for? Did I hear that properly? Which one? Okay, I think so. We've been meeting, so is it citizenship and community? Okay, wonderful. Well, we thank you very much for being here. If you give us your first name. Very nice to meet you, Alexander. Thank you so much for being here, and I assume that is your dad with you. Thank you very much for coming this evening, and we're very happy to have you as part of our meeting. Okay? All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. Best to you. So we'll go ahead and move to our omnibus agenda this evening. I'm going to ask, please, for a motion to approve items A through C and acceptance of items D through F. A motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Blair. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. Any discussion or any item to be considered separately? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Going to ask our village administrator, if you would please read the items that do appear on our omnibus agenda this evening.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. Members of the board, good evening. Item A, ordinance 2025-5, an ordinance to approve and publish, the official zoning map of the Village of Woodridge reflecting map amendments through December 31st, 2024. Item B, resolution 2025-23. This is crack sealing and seal coating services bid. Resolution awarding a one-year contract between SKC Construction, Inc. and the Village of Woodridge for this program. This is for village streets and bike paths. Next, item C, resolution 2025-24, bid 2025-02. This is concrete flat work for the 2025 program. This is contract between the village and Globe Construction, Inc. And then item D are accounts payable registers for 2025 for January and February, credit card register from November 2024, and wire payments for January 2025. And then item E and item F are prior board meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Blair?
Aye.
Trustee Kagan?
Aye.
Trustee Annalise?
Aye.
Trustee Krusek? Aye. Trustee Page?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, everyone. Under presentation of communication, I do have a mayor's report this evening. First of all, thank you very much for our community as well as the village and Jamie leading a wonderful Woodridge Restaurant Week and trolley tour and her committee that helped her really do some phenomenal work. So I would like to just take a moment and thank our wonderful community for their enthusiastic participation. I think the tickets were sold out, and this was all for Restaurant Week, which was last week here in Woodridge. For your support of our local businesses, to please know how invaluable it is. It truly makes Woodridge such a wonderful place. And a big thank you to our restaurants and businesses who helped to make this event a huge success. We're also thrilled to have hosted our first ever Woodridge Restaurant Week trolley tour. And we couldn't have done it without the incredible support of our local establishments and our neighbors. Everyone went above and beyond as hosts and creating a memorable experience for all who were involved and participated. We hope that everyone had a fantastic time exploring the great dining options and vibrant atmosphere here in our town. And we look forward to continuing to celebrate and to be able to support our local businesses in such a way well into the future. So remember, please, to shop and dine Woodridge. It makes all the difference. Next, our Prologis scholarship deadline has been extended. The Village of Woodridge partners with Prologis Foundation and is still accepting applications for the 2025 scholarship program. This is a great opportunity and available to high school seniors who are living in Woodridge and who demonstrate good citizenship, leadership, academic excellence, and community or campus involvement. The application deadline has been extended to Friday, March 14th. Full eligibility along with criteria, the application, and any other additional resource and information can be found right on our website. Last, we do want to mention early voting begins March 17th. Please let your voices be heard. Remember that it is important to vote. The actual voting day in person is Tuesday, April 1st. However, as we stated earlier, the early voting starts on March 17th, so right around the corner. For Woodridge residents, the closest early voting location is the Woodridge Park District ARC, our recreation center, which is located at 8201 Janes Avenue. Additional early voting locations can be found by visiting DuPage County's website at www.dupagecounty.gov. Thank you very much. That is my report. Administrator Stonich, your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. First item A, ordinance 2025-6, an ordinance granting a special use permit for a cultural facility in the ORI district. This is at 900 South Frontage Road, Unit 110. And Director Clark is going to introduce this item.
Good evening. Tonight we have here a special use permit application, and the property is located at 900 South Frontage Road, which is known as our Waterfall Glen campus. It is mostly comprised of office buildings. The particular building has recently been acquired by Integrity Property Group, which the applicant for the cultural facility is also a member of. And they have purchased the building, but then also Mr. Hassan Ali will be bringing in his cultural facility on the first floor. The building has some vacancies. As you can imagine, the office market has been challenging. So there have been a lot of interest in this building, and I'm happy to see that it's been purchased with a new group, and they're bringing some new tenants in there. So more to come, hopefully, with this space. The building is a beautiful building. As you can see, it's masonry. It has a lot of glass as it's utilizing the beautiful scenery there with the lake. And it has a lovely lobby area when you come into the facility. And you can see that picture there on the bottom of where when you walk in, you will see the KM Institute on the first floor. Here's the floor plan. It's a large office space right now. The main changes to the space will be here in the middle. This is where they will be creating a large lecture room where they envision bringing in people from the area to take some opportunities in learning. They'll have classrooms, they'll have areas that people can meet. The Institute itself is a nonprofit organization which is offering education, community engagement, and cultural development, and programming will be offered both in person and virtually. They plan to mostly work through the nights and weekends. They will have employment of around 10 to 20 people there, mostly part-time. The Institute itself doesn't fit quite well in our zoning code, but through a lot of conversations, we did come to the conclusion that a cultural facility was best suited, as they do offer a variety of opportunities for engagement and education and different cultural development programs. So that's why they're here for that special use. The Plan Commission did have a public hearing on February 17th to discuss the proposed business plan. Really, the only concerns were the amount of parking that might be needed. With this location, though, as you can see, it was a large office facility, that there's plenty of parking that will be available. But they did want to place some conditions, as you see here, that there's some minor items to be brought up with the property's maintenance, but mostly that the proposed use will If it changes throughout time, they have to come back and amend their special use if they should change anything beyond the scope of what was presented. I do have the applicant here and the CAM co-founder Hassan Ali as well. If you have any additional questions, if you'd like to ask, he's more than happy to probably talk about his new institute, as well as Amir, his architect, is here if there's any specific questions on the space. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions from
Madam Mayor,
trustee Krusek?
a couple questions. Number one, is the building owned by the nonprofit? Or will it be property tax producing?
It's owned by an LLC. So, and Hassan, I don't know if I've asked you that, but I think that's its own entity separate from the institute. Is that correct?
Yes, the profit is renting this.
Sure, come on up.
Thank you very much.
We got to have it on the record.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the property is owned by the LLC, so we will pay the property taxes. However, the non-for-profit is just renting this this unit there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Second question, it's 2 stories. Will the Kiam organization only be using the first floor? And if so, what are the plans for the second floor?
We have actually 3 stories in this nice
Okay.
building. It's about 70,000 square foot. Qiyam will not even use the entire first floor. It's a part of it, one unit of it, which is about 8,500 square foot. So it's less than 50% of the first floor. Currently, there is about 40% of the building rented already by some organizations and offices and law firms and other things. And we hope by also opening the Qiyam Institute as a culture center for our neighbors to introduce this building to more business owners so we can fill the entire building.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else, please? Any questions? Thank you very much. So we have before us ordinance 2025-6, the ordinance granting a special use permit for a cultural facility as described. Now going to ask please for a motion to approve ordinance 2025-6.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, if our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page. Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next item B, Resolution 2025-25. It's a resolution awarding bid number 2024-05. This is the bid for the 75th Street Lift Station rehabilitation and a bid for the Village Greens Altitude Valve Vault Rehabilitation Project. This will be a contract award to John Neary Construction Company in the not to exceed amount of $1,320,830.
Thank you very much. So we have before us Resolution 2025-25. I'm going to ask please for a motion to approve that resolution.
So moved.
Motion. I'm sorry.
So moved.
Thank you very much, trustee Blair. Second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan. Motion passes.
Next item C, Resolution 2025-26, resolution authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute a certain agreement for professional services between the Village of Woodridge and Christopher Burke Engineering. This is for the 75th Street Lift Station rehabilitation and also the Village Greens Altitude Valve Vault rehabilitation. This is for construction engineering services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. And a second, please. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mayor and Board, this next item D is associated with the proposed new Public Works facility. So item D actually would go nicely with item J. And so if it's okay with you, Mayor, we'll move to item E and F, and then the board can take both of the Public Works items together.
Yes, that would be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item E, ordinance 2025-7, an ordinance amending the Village Code of the Village of Woodridge, Title IX, Chapter 11, signs. This would be a text amendment to the code.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-7, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Antilles. A second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, if our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item F, ordinance 2025-8, an ordinance establishing a policy on village-owned electric message boards.
If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-8, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. A second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, item G, Resolution 2025-28. This is a resolution awarding bid number 2024-09. The project is a water well rehabilitation. This would be a contract award to Lane Christensen in the amount of $498,771.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2025-28, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Kagan. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, item H, Resolution 2025-29, resolution authorizing the mayor or clerk to execute a certain agreement for professional services between the Village of Woodridge and Christopher Burke Engineering. This is for the water well rehabilitation project, and this is for construction engineering services. Thank you.
If I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2025-29, please.
So moved.
Thank you. I heard two. I heard trustee Blair and then a second by trustee Martinez. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, item I, Resolution 2025-30, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Woodridge and the County of DuPage, Illinois for reporting and meter reading services.
If I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2025-30, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, item J, Resolution 2025-31, a resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a certain agreement for professional services between the Village of Woodridge and Kluber, Inc. This would be for the proposed new public works facility, the design and construction. Director Bethel is here to introduce the item.
So just to give a little bit of a recap of how we got here and what's before you tonight. So actually tonight we're considering a contract to start the final phase of design on a project concept that started back in 2003. This 20-year process was done with the overall goal and intent to put together and implement a plan that's going to meet the long-term needs of the Police and Public Works Department in order to efficiently and effectively provide services to the community. The village has been diligent in this 20-plus year process, engaging different architectural and planning consultants during different stages. We've evaluated option after option on different properties and on different buildings and combinations to try to reach the best end result. Ultimately, the village made the determination to create a new Janes Avenue Municipal Campus and consolidate those police and public works operations together as the best solution for the community. And that property, that critical first step in 2019 happened with acquiring those 13 acres. From 2020 to 2023, that first phase of the project was undertaken by doing all the site infrastructure work and completing the police and ancillary public works buildings on that property. In 24, the village began the second phase of that plan and engaged professional consultants and undertook a concept design report specific to a public works building. That final report was presented at the January 16th, 2025 meeting. So those key consultants who had worked with the village on the study are here tonight. Kluber Architects and Engineers, their principal, Chris Hansen, a number of the other staff, Jeff Bruns, their structural engineers with them tonight. And then we also have Mark Rogers from CCS International, who's been the owner's rep for the village since 2020 and really done a yeoman's job in helping to move these facility projects forward, advocating for the village's best interests and making sure they stay on schedule and on budget. So just to summarize now the contracts before you tonight, first with Kluber. So what this includes is design work on a approximately 63,700 square foot building, modifications to our cold storage building, as well as some options for a second floor mezzanine, expanded garage, and expanded police department parking lot. And when I say options, again, what we're looking to do is design to a budget, and we're going to talk about budget in a second, and include alternates for additions and deductions so we can respond to market conditions depending on bid pricing as the project moves forward. For the division of responsibilities, the contract with Kluber delineate those, and they're really going to be completing nearly all the engineering and architectural services for design, including site civil, landscaping, and geotechnical through subconsultants that they're going to engage. One of the great things about Kluber is they have their structural engineers are in-house, their electrical people are in-house, so it really is a one-stop shop with them. Similar to the approach with the design of the police department, there's going to be some services that we work jointly with Kluber on by engaging our own sub-consultants on things like furniture purchasing, IT, AV, security. We're going to work together and partner for the design and implementation of those. And then there's some services that the village contracts for directly. One, obviously, the owner's rep, as well as building commissioning, that final step to make sure that everything is turned on and functioning appropriately. And then the second half, kind of the division of responsibilities, as Administrator Stonish had mentioned, there's a separate agenda item before you for CCS for them to continue on as our owner's rep. That contract with CCS, just to note, there are some ancillary services related to capital projects here at the Village Hall for rehabbing the HVAC system, replacing the Village Hall roof, as well as some work that we're looking to do inside of the garage currently. Those services for CCS are lined out. There's separate line item costs for each project. So if something gets peeled off, that dollar disappears with that scope. So to turn our attention to budget. So the total budget we're looking to design to all inclusive is $26.5 million. That contract for CCS specific to the Public Works building is $365,000. The Kluber contract, and again, that cost for CCS is everything from this point forward for design as well as through construction inspection and project closeout. The Kluber contract is $1,514,201, again, for design, procurement, construction, and closeout. It is broken down by phase based on percentage. So again, if for some reason we were to stop, we kind of know what that dollar cost is. Just one item I want to call out. I know all the mayor and board, you're looking at the details. The contract document on front, the top is 1514201. The AIA and the supporting documents, we're still in the process of going through legal review. That number shows 1504201. That difference is reimbursable expenses. It's all going to get cleaned up in the final version, but just so those numbers do tie together. And so the timeline, and it's obviously been always important to the mayor and board on both the police and this project. So kind of working backwards, we're really looking at construction commencing next spring, 2026. It's a very aggressive schedule considering all the other capital projects that Public Works is managing and assuming everything kind of goes on schedule. But we'll kind of hit on right now, assuming the mayor and board agrees and wants to move forward, schematic design really would start immediately. We kind of went beyond concept design, and there are some things like the image, the rendering in front of you that really kind of started to step into schematic. And so we think that would really run just through late spring 2025. The next stage is design development, and that's really where all the materials and specs and details, plan book, finishes, everything kind of comes together that you'd use to go out to bid, and that we'd complete that late summer 2025. Procurement, the end of 25, beginning of 26, construction starting spring of 26, and then substantial completion spring of 27 is what we would be looking at in terms of winding everything up. So we wanted to hit on scope, kind of implementation schedule, cost. So I can certainly answer any other questions. And again, Mr. Rogers and Mr. Hanson from Kluber are both here to assist as well.
Thank you very much, Director Bethel. Any questions for Director Bethel at this time? Anyone have any questions or anything? Okay.
And
Thank you.
if I can just add,
Yes, please.
Mayor, I know Director Bethel referred to it, but both these ordinances are, resolutions rather, are being approved subject to final village attorney approval. The substantive, we've agreed substantively, there's just key elements that are still being worked out.
Thank you very much, Attorney Pat.
And on that's a great point, and it's something that Kluber has been very agreeable, very willing to work with us. We're really down to just kind of the fine details. We don't anticipate anything changing and getting that finalized tomorrow.
Thank you very much. We thank you all. So we would be looking at item J first, and then we will go to item D. So we have before us Resolution 2025-31. Going to ask, please, for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-31, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Kagan. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page,
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Then we'll take item D, which is Resolution 2025-27. This is the resolution approving an agreement between the Village of Woodridge and CCS International for the professional services, specifically owner's representative services for the new Public Works facility and various other capital improvement projects.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-27, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Blair. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page,
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Last item tonight, item K, Resolution 2025-32. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute a certain amendment for Microsoft Office 365 software licenses. This contract would be an amended contract with Heartland Business Systems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-32, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Krusek. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everyone, very much. I do have just a couple items here. On behalf of the Village of Woodridge and the Village Board and myself, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation and very fond farewell to two of our village colleagues. First of all was Officer Greg Bernard, who recently retired from service with the Woodridge Police Department after serving our village outstandingly with distinction for over 21 years. So we do send Greg our heartfelt appreciation for his wonderful service to our community, and we wish him the very best in his retirement. And also, we bid farewell to Tracy Morocco, the Village Finance Department's Fiscal Operations Manager. And after serving our village for over 11 and a half years, she recently announced her resignation and accepted the Deputy Finance Director position with the City of Naperville. So we will miss both, one in retirement and one going to a neighboring community, but we wish them the very best. They served our community outstandingly, and we appreciate every contribution that they made. Lastly, I do want to mention that we have our newest Eagle Scout, and I'm going to, Alexander, hope that this might be something, maybe your picture will be on a card like this in the future. And it is a Eagle from Troop 109. His name is Joe Rauba, and Joe was recently completed his Eagle, and he reached this outstanding achievement and just shared a deep appreciation to the village of Woodridge, where he grew up and served in his troop, but also is excited to be our newest Eagle Scout member. And he just thanks all of us for recognizing his achievement of Eagle, especially in the hectic times that he is in with going on to college, et cetera, but he's more than happy to be a part of our village forever. So we congratulate him and his wonderful achievement. So Alexander, if you want to look at that, it's right here. It's great inspiration. I'm sure we'll see you one day. So with no further business to discuss this evening in our meeting, we do have the need to convene an executive session immediately following our adjournment. The purpose of this executive session is to review and discuss the collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning their salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. Now going to ask, please, for a motion to adjourn from this regular board meeting. Going to ask for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries, and the time is 8:01 p.m. We are adjourned. Thank you very much for being here this evening, and take good care.